How's it going, everyone? Buddy the Bruiser here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little disclaimer before this episode gets started. We recorded this on Tuesday, so the verdict for the CM Punk trial was not out yet, so we mainly just talk about what led up to the trial and our thoughts on the trial so far. And obviously the Halloween trailer didn't come out yet because it came out yesterday on Friday, so next week we will be discussing the Halloween trailer in depth and our thoughts on the CM Punk verdict. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe because you don't want to miss that. Not giving away any of my thoughts on the Halloween trailer just yet, so make sure you guys tune in next week and check that out. Thank you, and enjoy this week's show. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Buddy the Bruiser and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone? We are Two Nerds. This is a podcast. I am...
And I'm Dynamite Jared!
Are you?
Welcome to Two Nerds, a podcast. We have an absolutely action-packed, content-filled, just
Must-listen
podcast this week. Sorry.
The most newsworthy episode we may have ever had.
This is just absolutely jam-packed full of content. If you guys want to hear about this content, just go ahead, smash that like button, click the subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know every time that Buddy puts out a new video.
Which is usually never.
We got this content coming hot at you. First up on the list, BumbleBee trailer. Buddy?
BumbleBee, the trailer, the prequel to the illustrious Transformers series, brought to you by renegade filmmaker Michael Bay.
Renegade filmmaker. Does Michael Bay actually have good movies?
He did Pearl Harbor, and then everyone thought he was like the second coming of Christ, and then he made a bunch of garbage.
The second coming of Steven Spielberg?
Yes.
Is what they really thought?
Yeah.
Who's not really Christ?
No. He's Jewish. He could not be Christ. He does not believe that Christ is a thing.
Well, he doesn't believe that Christ is the Son of God.
Correct.
That he was just a jabroni.
Yes.
Basically. A Jewish jabroni.
The biggest con artist
because Christ was Jewish.
Christ was Jewish.
Yeah. Anyways, I watched this trailer, buddy.
We watched it together. I had watched it previously. I said, there's nothing noteworthy in this trailer, and then you watched it anyway.
We watched it hand in hand because we want to stay up with the times, and we are Two Nerds. This is a podcast, and we got to talk about nerd culture. BumbleBee is part of nerd culture.
Yeah, this is true.
We have to stay up on this. Transformers is part of nerd culture. And the trailer doesn't look very good. There's like a point in the trailer where like the main actress or whatever dives underwater and Bumblebee's already under there. I don't know how his engine doesn't get flooded. I wish it just would, and then he would die. But apparently you can just bring Transformers back when they die.
I guess. I mean,
it's happened. But anyway, she dives underwater and they kind of like meet face to face down there, and it looks like a romance scene for a moment. Like she's about to make out with this machine.
Everyone knew that The Shape of Water was a hit, so now we need to have these unconventional couples that are going on. Started with Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure there's been many before that, but
I haven't watched... I've only seen the first two Transformers movies. What was the second one? Revenge of the Fallen? After Revenge of the Fallen, I was done.
See, I've only seen the first one, and
you were done.
It was in theaters too. Like I haven't so whenever that came out, like the opening weekend. Was
I thought the first
one
was good in theaters, but you probably had more of a keen like film eye, and I was like kind of in theaters, like just kind of being in awe of like the bangs and the
explosions,
the explosions and all the action and everything. So I thought it was all right. I went to go see the second one, but then you see the second one was absolutely garbage. And I can't remember if I rented the first one at some point because I was like, this is a good movie. I'll rewatch it. And I rented it. And then when I watched it at home, on home video, these Transformers films don't hit half as hard.
I would assume
and
that it has to be somewhere where you're watching it like on the big screen and it's like the whole environment like plays.
Oh, it's a Michael Bay film.
Yeah.
You can't watch this on your...
If you're watching it on your TV,
you can't watch it on your fucking 22-inch freaking plasma from 2004.
Yeah.
So that the Transformers movies suck, and so but Revenge of the Fallen particularly sucked, and then like
Well, the second one was like Dark of the Moon or something like that.
no, that's the third one.
That's the third one. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a fourth one which is like the last.
It's the
night.
It's the one with like the dinosaurs.
I don't even know, man.
I know there's one with Mark Wahlberg and there's dinosaur Transformers because I was working at the theater when it was there.
Those are probably from Beast Wars, maybe. I don't know, but Mark Wahlberg's in Dark of the Moon, I think. I think Shia LaBeouf got the fuck out of there after Revenge of the Fallen, which, like, really sucked. It was like a fucking National Treasure meets Optimus Prime,
Was it?
except
It was
Optimus
like
Prime wasn't
National
even half
Treasure.
the movie because I think he died early on. He got jumped by 2 Decepticons, and he just couldn't handle it. And then they bring him back at the end. Don't worry. They bring him back at the end. That's why I mean you can bring the Transformers back. They don't stay dead.
Literally, the only thing I remember from the first Transformers is they made like a Shia LaBeouf like jacking off joke, like the parents did. That's literally the only thing I remember from that movie. This has been so long, but
I remember that he gets Bumblebee.
yeah,
I don't remember how he came across it because I remember that Bumblebee ended up being like a really nice car. And in this trailer, he's a Bug,
Yeah.
a Volkswagen Bug, which is, I think, I'm not a huge Transformers nerd or anything. I kind of just missed the boat on Transformers. I was more of an 80s kid, kind of like,
and you came in at the end of the 80s, so
like yeah. So, a phenomenon.
yeah, I was never a Transformers kid.
I think if my recollection does me good, that Bumblebee was originally a Volkswagen Bug and not a fucking Corvette or whatever the fuck he is in the newer ones.
Sports car or some shit. Here's what I don't understand. So we see in the trailer, Bumblebee's obviously running around like catching helicopters and like all this shit. So how come in like the newer ones, no one remembers any of this at all? Unless it's like a huge cover-up or something.
I mean, maybe they do. Like you said, it's been a while since we've watched them. Maybe the military is like, oh,
These things are back.
they're back.
Yeah, which could very well be the case.
I
don't
can't
know.
remember. But John Cena's in it.
I didn't see him. I did not. Where was he at?
Well, you can't.
Oh, he was in there for. I saw.
I just read it on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
You can't see him, but apparently he's in the film and in the trailer somewhere. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but I just started laughing about the thing from Lost on VHS, which you will find out in October. But when we thought they were keeping one of the characters a secret,
Wait,
in Lunatic
the
with the brother character, how like you didn't.
Oh, it would have been so good if they just kept him secret. That would have been amazing. I need to make a movie one day. I always say this. I need to make a movie. But like one day where it's just like a totally like insignificant character.
You never see their face.
You just don't see their face. Like you just keep them a secret. But it has to be a really bad movie. And
Yeah.
it's like Lunatic,
Yeah.
which was actually very watchable somehow. But
Yeah.
first shot on video. But you'll find out about that. Maybe.
Maybe.
So anyways, Bumblebee trailer is coming out. Is that coming out this summer?
Said Christmas.
Christmas.
This Christmas.
It's, I just kind of.
So when all the bumblebees are dying out because of the cold weather, we still have the bumblebee in the theater. So
Okay.
we'll be set.
I don't think bumblebees die in the cold weather. I think they just kind of
Do
like.
they go underground?
I think they might burrow and like kind of like ball up or something. I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that every bumblebee on the planet goes extinct, and then somehow
not all of them
their
goes.
species
Well,
comes back to
they lay eggs and stuff.
whatever. This is not the time to discuss the lifespan of bumblebees. We got a very serious movie trailer that we're dealing with. When are we going to get the new Godzilla trailer?
I don't know. Comes out next year, so
We got to get a trailer.
we got to get it soon.
Somebody fucking cock teased me on YouTube with a teaser trailer for Godzilla versus King Kong. The official one, and all it was the post-credit scene in King Kong.
Oh, really? I
Or
got
Kong Skull Island.
I got cock teased on
There
on
was-
Twitter.
there was comments on this video that were like, "Oh, it's not King Kong, it's just Kong. Okay, King Kong is the old one and Peter Jackson and the '70s one.
This is
This is just Kong." Well, he's still king. I think I'm pretty sure they specify that in the trailer that Kong is king. I think that was one of the taglines or something like that.
Well, they're gonna call it King Kong versus Godzilla, I'm assuming, as an homage theory.
Or maybe just Godzilla versus Kong.
They're not gonna call it Zilla versus Kong or
Clash of Kings
or something. I don't know. But anyway, I got cock teased on Twitter the other day. You might find this a little funny, but I saw an article. Okay. It was obviously from a fake site, but I did not know that. It said Weird Al Yankovic is getting very polarizing reviews of his new Childish Gambino parody, "This Is My Hair I Cut." And I was like, I gotta fucking see this, and I clicked on the article and it was not real. But like the thumbnail was like Weird Al, like how he's like about to shoot the guy in like the back of the head. It was just Weird Al's face like on it, but it was like far away and it kind of like blended nice, so I thought it was legit. And I was like, oh, I wanted to hear this so bad.
What's Weird Al doing these days?
I thought he was coming out with a new album.
With the new This Is My Hair I Cut?
He's on tour right now, actually, because I saw like a promoted tweet from him that he's like giving away a VIP package on like auction for charity or something.
Are we going to be reviewing BumbleBee on the podcast?
I would assume not, because I'm probably not seeing it, and yeah.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, Transformers fans, but your movie franchise is garbage, and we don't feel like watching it unless you guys donate to our GoFundMe page and buy our tickets to go see it. And if we can hit 1,000 likes on this video, we will review BumbleBee when it comes out.
That sounds like
there's a 1,000 like goal. All right. Fair. So, Michael Bay, it's time for you to make 1,000 burner accounts.
Yes.
And just
that's the trend recently, getting all these burner accounts going on.
Who did that?
Didn't the fucking GM or the owner of the 76ers do that and was like criticizing his own players?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was a huge thing like last week or a few days ago.
So anyway, speaking of burner accounts, this has nothing to do with burner accounts, but our good friend Enzo Amore, who was just cleared of sexual misconduct charges, just dropped a hot new Fire 100 track on the internet. Real One by Enzo Amore.
No, Real One. He is Real One. The song is Phoenix.
Okay.
He is Real One.
Okay, and the song is Phoenix.
Yeah, I think it's
Phoenix by Real One.
Yes.
All right, so buddy.
Presented by World Star or something. I think it was an exclusive.
So you've seen the video? You've listened to the song?
I have seen the video.
I haven't watched the video, but I have heard the song.
What do you think?
What do you think of Enzo's burgeoning rap career?
It was perplexing.
It wasn't very good. I've only heard it, and like when I heard it was like a reaction like to it. So
because you heard it on the Jim Cornette podcast.
And he was reacting, he was like live reacting to it, so maybe my opinion is a little skewed, but it didn't sound very good.
What did he have to say?
He said that it didn't make any sense. He made fun of the words that he was seemingly making up, and some of the verses just didn't add up. Like, he was actually like analyzing the lyrics as they were coming out, and you know, some of them just weren't very good. And then I'm sure he was criticizing the video at some points too.
Yeah.
But do you think Enzo's going to come back to WWE?
No, like absolutely not. No.
So, I mean,
he was throwing shade in his song. I mean,
probably because they won't let him come back.
And everyone there hates him. So I don't see why he would even need to come back. Like, I'm sure he'll show up in like the indies or something, but like, I don't see him going back to WWE.
Why not? Because he was cleared of all charges. So basically, by the word of the law, he's innocent.
But everyone hated him anyway, and they were trying to get him out. And then this was their way.
They're trying to get him out, but they were featuring him more on TV than they feature guys like freaking
a lot of people.
Yeah, like Zack Ryder. You know what I mean? Like
Zack Ryder, Ty Dillinger, Sami
nobody
Zayn, everyone.
nobody hates Zack Ryder at all, but he's barely featured on TV. He's good buddies with the Miz and a bunch of other guys. You know. Ziggler, I think, is good friends with them. A lot of guys freaking roast Zack Ryder, you know, kind of like playful little jabs at him. I think even Jericho's friends with him. Not featured on TV. They're not trying to get rid of him, but they supposedly were trying to get rid of Enzo, and yet they were featuring him more on TV than a lot of guys that they have that they're not trying to get rid of. He was on 205 Live as champion, and like basically being the centerpiece of that show. Like not just like in theory because he's the champion, but literally like the whole show revolved around fucking I want to kill myself, but like I actually sat through a couple episodes of 205 Live during this era because they were on my live stream when I was trying to go to sleep. So he had his whole stable with
whoever.
God, the freaking
like Drew Gulak and
Drew Gulak and the premier athlete Tony Nese and maybe one other guy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm not really sure. But anyways, Enzo not returning. I'm not really gonna miss him. I'm just kind of wondering why. It seems kind of like seems kind of shitty to terminate him without knowing all the facts and without, you know, seeing how the trial would play out and then just not bringing him back after when he's cleared of all charges and it's basically like, oh, I guess we terminated him for nothing.
Yeah. We're
not going to bring him back. Doesn't seem right to me, but again, I'm not really a huge Enzo fan, so I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. That TV time will be much better placed on someone else. They're still not doing it, though.
No. Nope. Wrestling's been ass. I haven't watched in a while. Money in the Bank's in next week. Not this week, next weekend. But yeah, it's...
What are your have you made your predictions on here yet?
No.
As of right now, who's taking home the Money in the Bank?
Who's in the match? Finn.
Miz. Samoa Joe.
Okay. Strowman is in it.
Okay, he's not winning.
I feel like someone else is in it. I don't know.
I think they have 7 guys in it this year.
We can take a look.
Then they have the women's Money in the Bank. I know Charlotte is in that. Probably.
Isn't there a tag? No, did they scratch the tag team Money in the Bank? Okay, so it is Strowman, Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and one of the members of New Day. TB announced. And I'm thinking it's Big E.
Yeah, he's supposed to get a big singles push here pretty soon.
So that's possible. Could be him. I don't know if they'd want to pull the trigger that quick. The fans would love it if Rusev won, but
he's not winning.
I don't see that happening.
I think that most of the predictions go towards Miz winning and actually getting a decent run with the title on SmackDown, as opposed to his last title run that's frequently looked back on as total ass.
Yeah. I don't know.
Also off of Money in the Bank cash in.
Yeah.
Can't win the belt clean.
I don't know. I'd be okay with Miz winning or Finn winning. I mean, he never got his rematch, so give him something.
Strowman's not going to win. Like, we can just throw that one out, right? Like, he's not going to win.
He gets title shots all the time anyway. I don't think he needs a Money in the Bank.
He's not going to win. Who's in the women's Money in the Bank? Who's your pick, by the way? I'm going to go with the safe bet and say Miz.
I don't know. Depends if Big E gets in or not. I'd like to see Finn, but Miz makes sense, I guess. Especially if he's going to start feuding with Daniel Bryan down the road. Be nice to see. Okay, so the women's is Ember Moon, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha Banks.
You gotta go with Sasha Money in the Banks, right? Like,
I don't know.
It's in her name. You gotta go with her.
She didn't win last year.
at some point she's got to win the damn briefcase. My pick is Sasha Money in the Bank.
I don't know. I'll go with, I don't know, because all the other ones have had titles in the past in WWE.
You can't put it on Charlotte, because I think that Charlotte, they want to make her look strong going into this year's WrestleMania, where the presumed main event is going to be Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
So you don't want her to have a belt going into that. You want her to have a belt, I'm assuming, but you don't want her to have a belt going into that, a belt that she won by cashing in.
Correct.
And kind of screwing someone over. I guess unless you want her to be a total heel, but I don't think that's what they're going with that. And then Ember Moon, I think is too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon for her.
I would say Lana if they're doing it for the comedy of it, because she could do some weird stuff, but I don't see her as like
Alexa Bliss.
She was just champ.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm just talking about wrestling.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I feel it.
NXT's been good though. I'm actually looking forward to the NXT show before this Takeover Chicago. Okay, so you're saying Lana?
No, I was saying that I could see them doing like comedy stuff with Lana, but I don't see it as like a serious thing. I don't know. That one's tougher because the only two I think you could pick, I don't know, Becky hasn't had the belt since they made the belt. I don't know. It's tough.
It could be Becky. I would say the safe picks out of these would be Becky, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. I could see him doing the whole Naomi thing again, even though it's like not great. But I mean, like those are like my three like strongest picks. I think we already talked about AJ versus Nakamura, and I think we both agree that Nakamura should win. I don't know if that's my like punched in bet though.
It's a last man standing match.
So Nakamura catches him in the balls and he stays down for the 10 count, right? That's got to be the payoff, right? That's got to be it. Unless AJ's finally wearing a cup.
Could be. I don't know. That could be the climactic moment where you think he's got him.
Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. Do you think it's too soon for Ronda Rousey to have that strap? At the same time, is it too soon for Ronda Rousey to lose?
It could be through
nefarious
shenanigans,
means.
But I think it's too soon as well. But I don't see it being pretty.
You know what could happen, because they're doing the angle with Ronda Rousey and Natalya as friends. Maybe Natalya wins the Money in the Bank, Ronda Rousey wins the strap, and then Natalya immediately cashes in on her and wins the belt.
Could be a thing. Yeah.
Carmella versus Asuka. Jesus fucking Christ.
I didn't even know that was a match until
Asuka needs to win this match. Are you fucking kidding me? After WWE gave her the fucking thick shaft at WrestleMania and made her tap out, you can't have her lose to Carmella unless it's through the most nefarious of means, and even then, that's bullshit. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, the hottest program in WWE today, Buddy Candela, Buddy the Bruiser. Edit out your last name from there. If you
the channel is literally called Buddy Candela.
You need to change your channel back to Buddy, or change it to Buddy the Bruiser.
Maybe. We'll see.
Mine's Dynamite Jared on my channel now. It's
about time.
Thrash Kid. Even though Thrash Kid was a good name, I can't believe that was still up. But Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. God, who could possibly win? Who could possibly win this match? And I know we're doing predictions 2 weeks out, and there's a whole nother week of TV build-up.
I know that there's so much that could happen.
My God. I begrudgingly have to say it, but I think that Roman Reigns is absolutely winning this match, and there's no way in hell that Jinder Mahal could possibly win.
You know who I think is going to win?
Who?
I think it's going to be the big dog! The big dog!
It's his yard, buddy! It's his yard! My God! Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Ooh! Match of the night, brother.
Oh my god. Oh, what the fuck, man?
And we haven't watched wrestling in forever, so we're looking at this Wikipedia page just astounded by these matches.
Did the club ever win the tag belts since coming back?
Yeah,
they won them.
Well, they had it going into Mania 33 when
And then they lost
when
it to the Hardys.
Yeah, they had it going in.
Well, they're not getting it back this time.
If AJ retains, and then maybe they hold all the straps, but I don't know.
How's AJ going to retain? It's like, and then join them up with them, like, and turn them heel, or are they babyface now?
They're face because Bludgeon Brothers are like monster heels, so they're kind of like tweeners. Like they joke around and they do
Does the
nerd.
monster heel thing even work anymore?
I mean, they tried it with Strowman, then they made him a comedy act, so I guess not.
Like, because
They're trying. I don't know.
I like a monster heel, and I wish it would work, because in practice it's a cool idea.
Not when you give them
instead of making all your heels chicken shits. But in today's day and age, when you're a monster heel and you act badass all the time, you go out there, you are badass, and you just beat the fuck out of everybody. How can anyone boo you? Like, you're just beating the fuck out of everybody, and you're in the back saying you're going to beat the fuck out of everybody, and then you go out there and you beat the fuck out of everybody. It's like what Stone Cold did.
Yeah.
Except he was a babyface.
Yes, this is true. But what I was saying is
And not by any means a monster heel,
no.
because he's not huge.
But I don't think that you can get them over as monster heels when you give them plastic hammers to walk down to the ring with.
Do they have plastic?
They look plastic. I don't know.
Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Match of the fucking night. I didn't see that down there.
It could be a good match, honestly.
No, I don't know.
It could be a good match. Bobby Lashley apparently had good work in TNA.
Apparently. Supposedly.
Apparently. And we know that Sami Zayn is a good worker. They could have a good match. Am I interested in this match?
It just seems like such a bizarre
I'm absolutely
rivalry.
not interested in this match. But it could be a good match, and Sami Zayn is going to lose.
Yes, this is true.
Sami Zayn's going to lose. Seth Rollins versus Elias. And the one thing that I do know right now is that apparently Seth Rollins is like the hottest act in WWE right now. No disrespect to Seth Rollins, but that's weird because he's been like a main event guy for so long, and now he's now he's absolutely on fire. So Seth Rollins versus Elias. I'm saying Seth Rollins wins.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Keep him going for this eventual match with Roman Reigns. That's definitely.
I would hope that he would lose the strap at some point so he could feud with Brock for at least one match. That'd be nice, but
well, they could do the Intercontinental versus Universal thing,
and then have Brock just hold both, and then no one gets any belts ever on Raw.
Well, maybe like the Intercontinental belt will not be on the line, just the Universal. They could kind of do that shtick, and like then Brock would beat him or whatever. Who's gonna beat Brock? Is it still Roman?
I don't know. I think Roman's dead, but you never know.
Is it Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan? Why is this a match?
We just saw this match.
Why is this a match? Well, I mean, that's not a good excuse as to why it shouldn't be a match, because, I mean, like, usually programs go on for a couple months. But let's face it, Daniel Bryan defeated him, like, handily. Like, yeah, Big Cass got, like, 10 minutes of heat on him, but then Daniel Bryan fired up the comeback, and that was it. Yeah. Like, there was, like, no, like, finish or anything. Yeah. He fired up the comeback, hit the ass kicks, hit the corner drop kicks or whatever, and didn't go for the running knee or anything. Then, right in the middle of the ring, just hooked him into the fucking yes lock.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't even the yes lock. It might have been that new
I know what you're talking
calf submission that he's doing or whatever. Whatever it is, hooked him into a goddamn submission hold, and Big Cass tapped out like a little bitch. The following night, or the following SmackDown, Big Cass came out and he, kind of gave himself the out. I tapped out because Big Cass beat his ass after the match. But still, Daniel Bryan won clean as a whistle right in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
And his excuse was, I tapped out so that I could get right back up and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what he did. He comes down to the ring in SmackDown. Guess what happens? He gets the absolutely fucking holy shit, Jesus Christ, kicked the fuck out of him by Daniel Bryan. No bones about it.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan just beat the absolute living piss out of him on SmackDown. It looked like a fucking burial. He seriously got into the ring. Daniel Bryan just fucking drop kicked him in the face and just started kicking the shit out of him. Hooked him in the submission again, and he tapped out again. Put him on fucking crutches for a couple of weeks at Angle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now they're going on with another match where not only has Daniel Bryan beat him clean, but Daniel Bryan also beat the living piss out of him on SmackDown 2 nights later.
I don't know.
Daniel Bryan's the better man, and the only way the Big Cass could win this fucking match is by cheating. Otherwise, your booking doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I'm praying to God that Daniel Bryan goes over, but I would
imagine.
I honestly can't see it because the only reason to have another match in this is to have Big Cass go over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, that's enough about wrestling.
Are you excited about this card?
I'm excited about NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Yes.
I already said it. We have one of the, on paper, lamest main events in NXT TakeOver history with, what's the champion's name right now?
Is it Aleister Black?
Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Thank you. The name just couldn't fucking come to me. Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. See that Lars Sullivan was the one that was in my head, and he's the reason why this main event could potentially blow chunks. He's a big guy that can't move very well, and he's just not a great worker, in my opinion. But every time he comes out, the commentary team puts him over as this freakishly athletic, huge guy. When I think I said it on the podcast before, he's about Brock Lesnar's size. Or maybe I just said this to Miles. Because he's like 6'3", I think. 6'3", 300 maybe, something like that.
Not uncommon.
You know
not, yeah.
So he's about a Brock Lesnar size and does not move even a quarter as fast or agile as Brock Lesnar is or does. And Brock Lesnar's on the fucking down curve. He's not even as good as he used to be back in the early 2000s when he was really a fucking freak back then. He still does the occasional thing that, whoa, like when he leapfrogged.
When he jumped over Goldberg.
He leapfrogged Goldberg's spear. And he sells Undertaker's choke slams like he's fucking just getting thrown 100 feet in the air. He always jumps 20 feet. But Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan is not going. Actually, that's not going to be the main event, and maybe that's why they're putting Aleister against Lars Sullivan, because this match isn't going to steal the show, and I guess nor is it meant to. The main event's going to be Chicago Street Fight, Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano.
Will we have another 5-star?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I don't think so. But I think that it's going to be a great match. What else is there? What are the tag champs doing? Oh, it's fuck. It's
and this was not.
It's Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
There we go.
They can't.
I'm doing the hand signal. Undisputed Era. So it's Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong as a tag. A thing that doesn't make any sense whatsoever is that Roderick Strong was on a different team during the Dusty Tag Team Classic Tag Team Triple Threat match. He betrayed his team and gave Undisputed Era the win. Now, subbing in for is it Bobby Fish or Pete Fish? I can't remember.
Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish. Subbing in for Bobby Fish was Adam Cole, baby. But he's not really the tag champ either. It's Bobby Fish, but he's injured, so they let Adam Cole sub in. It's kind of like the Freebirds rule, I guess. So Adam Cole did it, but Roderick Strong was clearly not an Undisputed Era. He was clearly not the tag team champion. He was clearly challenging for the tag team title. Suddenly now he's a tag team champion.
Yes.
And he's defending the tag team titles with Kyle O'Reilly against Oney Lorcan and whoever the fuck Oney Lorcan's other bald tag team partner is. I can't remember this fucking guy's name. He's British too, is apparently the thing.
Interesting stuff.
But they're both good wrestlers, and I just can't get over Oney Lorcan's name. I can't believe they gave him that name. Oney Lorcan. What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that name? His intro song sucks too.
Anyway, as I was saying about the main Money in the Bank card that for some reason was not on the Wikipedia or we skipped over it, is the Deleters of Worlds,
Pre-show.
the Woken Warriors, are versing the former Miztourage
The B team.
for the tag belts.
The B team.
The B team.
Yeah.
So brother versus brother.
You think Bray pulled the strings on that one?
Maybe a little bit. He's like, come on, throw my brother a bone here.
Let me get Bo in the, the match. I don't know how Bray actually talks. Who cares? That's why it wasn't on the Wikipedia page. Nobody cares. Whatever. Deleters of Worlds retain.
I guess. I don't know what else you would... Anyway.
I don't want to talk about wrestling anymore.
What are we moving on to?
It's depressing. I don't even know what... Oh, I guess we got to talk about wrestling. CM Punk went to trial.
Yeah.
CM Punk went to trial and cried.
Apparently. Allegedly.
All right, so I just kind of listened to like sort of a breakdown of all the funny things that happened in the courtroom over the four
We're recording this a little early.
4 days.
So
I mean, they probably have deliberated and come to a verdict at this point. That as of our recording right now, there's still no verdict, but some of the highlights, I guess you could say, from this courtroom drama, this courtroom brawl, as WWE would book it, were Punk kind of admitting that his cyst, it's been since been revealed it wasn't a staph infection, it was a cyst, on his back, was actually on his butt. That's why nobody could see it. There was a lengthy debate, I guess, between the lawyers over how much of the Royal Rumble match that they could show in the courtroom.
What?
The Royal Rumble 2014 match.
Do they pay for the network?
That featured Batista going over. No, it was just how much of it would be relevant to the trial.
Oh, okay.
Because Punk suffered a concussion halfway through it.
And then the
doctors wanted him to get eliminated early. Punk didn't want to go against the booking, which was to have him in the final four, but they called Kane out early to give him the schmaz.
Supposedly, allegedly, because then later on in the court trial, I heard this, and this was one of the funnier moments that I thought they had Kane testify.
Oh my god, so good. He even popped CM Punk on this one. It was so you eliminated Mr. Punk or whatever, or I'm assuming they're calling him by his real name, Phil
Brooks,
Mr. Brooks from the trial, or from the
match. And then he was like,
Punk was probably, I wish someone would eliminate me from this trial. And you eliminated from the Royal Rumble match. Yes, illegally.
He said accidentally.
Accidentally.
Because the whole thing was they were supposed to the doctors were like, yeah, Kane, just throw him out, and then he basically went completely against everything that they said. And he's like, yeah, accidentally I eliminated him. Because that was their selling point. We're like, Kane is gonna be the guy who steers this trial in our direction, and then he completely threw them under the bus immediately.
Oh, man. So, this trial is, it's something. The lawsuit being presented here is so fucking stupid. And I'm a CM Punk fan, but I'm not saying this just to defend CM Punk. But, I mean, he goes on a podcast and he kind of vents out his frustrations on WWE, and part of his frustration was with this doctor, and so he buried the doctor on the podcast. This is the world that we live in now, man. Like, people go on podcasts, especially wrestling podcasts, all the time, and they fucking bury people. They bury other wrestlers. They bury doctors. They bury everybody. It's a fucking graveyard out there now in the podcast world. I've probably buried a couple people on this podcast. I definitely buried Miles's bitch ass.
I mean, we just buried the BumbleBee trailer.
Yeah, we just buried the BumbleBee trailer. We buried Michael Bay. I mean, and so they buried this doctor, Dr. Andrew, Amos or Amon or something. I don't even fucking know his name. He got buried on a podcast, okay? And so now he's going to bring up a fucking, what is it, $3.1 million lawsuit, $1 for each person that listened to the podcast.
Is that what it is?
I guess. That's what Miles said earlier. When I was listening to the kind of highlights of it, it was a $1 million $1 million lawsuit. Regardless, for slander or defamation of character, I don't even know what the fuck it is, dude. Basically,
he's just talking shit.
You got buried. You got your shit talked on. You fucking man up. You still got your job. You still got your reputation with the boys. You know, you're still getting paid a shit ton of money by WWE. He's saying that he got psychological like damage from it, and that there were threats from fans and stuff like that. The fans came on Twitter and they were talking shit to me. They were spamming my account and everything. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. You're in the wrestling business, man. Yeah. Like, look at all the fucking performers, and I understand that they are performers and you are a doctor. But look at the performers, right? They get fucking buried on podcasts and shit, and then fans fucking go to their thing. Like, how many fucking people go to Vince Russo's fucking like Twitter page every day and just absolutely fucking go at this fucking piece of shit because he got buried on like 600 different podcasts
that day?
Yeah, just that day, just in that 10-minute period. But he's not fucking suing Jim Cornette or any of the other fucking guys that have talked shit on him.
What was that video of Vince Russo where it's like, take a shot every time he says bro? It's like when he was explaining himself.
It could be any fucking Vince Russo video, bro.
It was like the most recent one where he's just like sitting there. He's like,
where he was responding to all the wrestling audiences are gay. Bro. But I mean, like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I probably get shit on Twitter every now and then. I don't think I'm entitled to $1 million plus for it. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's a stupid ass lawsuit, and I hope that the judge throws the case out. Punk probably has enough money to cover his legal fees without being too concerned about it. Probably chump change to him. Colt Cabana, though, is also being sued. And man, oh man. Here's how I think that the American justice system should work. If the court rules in favor of Punk and Cabana in this trial, then the prosecution should pay their legal fees, right? Because they brought them to trial.
I would assume.
I don't know how it works. I don't think that's how it works. But that's how it should work. Is if you sue somebody and the court rules in the defense's favor, then you should pay the defense's legal fees. Because it's not their fault that you decided to be a jackass and sue them over a lawsuit that really wasn't ever going to fucking pan out. You didn't really have much of a case if you lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but we don't know. I mean, by the time this goes up, we might have a verdict, but at the time of this recording,
I'm just saying my personal opinion on the American justice system at this point.
Yeah.
This is my hot button topic of the week. If I ever get sued, I don't have the money to pay for fucking legal fees if I'm sued over some shit that I didn't even fucking do. If some dumbass girl tries to fucking... That's probably a bad example. But that's something that happens all the time because it just happened to Enzo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'll say, you know, if some dumbass guy, I guess, on Twitter, you know what I mean? I went on Twitter and I was like, hey, dude, you're a piece of shit. I'm burying you right now, right? You know what I mean? And then he's like, I'm suing you for defamation of character. And then we get to court, and they're like, it's Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people talk shit all the time. And quite frankly, sir, what you did warranted this kind of burial on Twitter.
Yeah.
Dynamite Jared is going over in this trial. Now, bang the gavel, you know what I mean? And then he should have to pay my legal fees because this podcast isn't paying the bills, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah.
And they sure as fuck ain't paying my legal fees that I have to go to court every week for all the hot button topics that I discuss on the podcast.
Correct.
So that's what I think about.
CM Punk.
I think that's what should happen in the trial, because they've said, okay, so both sides of this trial have basically come out looking like jackasses. Like, CM Punk has come out and said that, okay, some of the shit I said was kind of out of spite. I've embellished the truth a little bit, but a lot of what I said was also fact. Okay?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was an exaggeration. And then the other side, the doctor has come out and admitted to breaking patient confidentiality. He discussed Punk's personal medical records on Jericho's podcast with Chris Jericho. He discussed it on a podcast without Punk's permission. Totally fucking illegal.
Yeah.
And then there was other things about him, like not documenting prescriptions that he was giving out to wrestlers and stuff like that. So basically, it's come to light that, yes, in fact, this doctor is a total piece of shit. Like, he's not good at his job.
Yeah.
And he's, like, kind of shady. So, I mean, both sides have come out pretty buried here. And, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what to say. We'll see what happens. I think that they're going to either throw the case out or rule in favor of Punk. But then, you know, they still have these thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees.
Yeah, true. It has been said under oath. It is confirmed that it is Chick Magnet Punk.
It is, yes. And we all kind of knew that. It was like the worst kept secret in the wrestling business. But it's...
What did they just ask, what does the CM stand for?
Something. You know how courtrooms are, man. Like, if you've ever watched a courtroom drama or, like, anything in like, a true TV courtroom. I watched the live footage of OJ getting fucking... getting parole or whatever. His parole hearings. They ask some dumbass questions that don't seem relevant to anything. But they're really just kind of digging, like hoping that you'll say something else that is relevant, basically. So I don't understand how, you know, the abbreviation for that could ever be relevant. And I just can only imagine the hilarity of that the jury is experiencing, just kind of hearing about the ins and outs of the pro wrestling business right now. And I don't know if they watched any of the 2014 Royal Rumble. But God help them if they did. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Jesus Christ. What else do we have? They released new character designs. I don't know if you saw these yet or not. For the Dragon Ball Super movie. I don't think we need to do a mini godcast for this or anything, but they showed Super Saiyan Blue for Goku and Vegeta.
Did they? I did not know.
So it's confirmed.
I was unaware.
It's confirmed. There was scans from a Japanese magazine that these forms will be in the movie. I think we all kind of knew they would be, but they're in there along with the and then it was just kind of from there, just kind of like a hash, like maybe a higher resolution image of like the 360 like character designs for Beerus, Whis, Goku, Vegeta. I'm not sure if Piccolo was on there. Still no Gohan. And stuff like that, but I'm sure that that's soon to come.
Cool. I don't know. Darth Maul's in Star Wars.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. So
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Damn, you got me good. I mean, when you mention it, though, it's kind of cool. Because it is a prequel. And it is like a younger Han Solo. So it's like during episode 1.
Yeah.
Time, I'm assuming.
No, it's...
Before episode 1, or is it
No, it would be after. Because Han is only a few years older than Luke, you would assume. Like, maybe like 10 years older. And this Han is like in his 20s, you would say. So it's definitely after episode 3.
So... But
that's where I was a little confused with the timeline because I had forgotten that they brought Maul back
in Clone Wars.
In Clone Wars. So when I saw him, I was like, this timeline does not make sense.
How did they bring Maul back, though? Do you know?
I can't. I know he's wearing like metal boots or something. So I think like half of him might be robotic or something like that.
So they kind of Vadered him up.
Sure. Because I just know in episode 1 he fell down that hole, and then. That was the last time I saw him, but...
Yeah. Do you have anything else to talk about this week? Anybody else to bury?
No, not really.
No burials?
Not really. Side note on the Star Wars thing, they're projecting that it is the first Star Wars ever in history to lose money. So that's the thing. But
it's not going to lose money. It's still got a lot of theatrical run left.
It was just...
I'm sure it's slowed down at this point. But once it hits home video, it's going to make up all of its money.
See, I just think it was bad timing because they normally do the Star Wars movies around Christmas time. This one, they rushed it to Memorial Day weekend, and Avengers came out 2 weeks before. Deadpool came out the week previous. So Star Wars didn't really have a chance.
I didn't see Deadpool as really being a threat, but Avengers is definitely not something that you want to release.
Especially when you're under the same Disney umbrella. I don't know why they would... do them so soon.
They wanted to bury themselves, buddy.
I guess, yeah. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, so I guess that's it for this week.
Yeah, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that
Follow
good stuff.
us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook, or add us on Facebook.
Yes. If you have anything you want us to talk about in our next episode,
please
tell us.
Please, we already made our Money in the Bank predictions, so we can't do that next week.
Yes.
So... let us know what you guys want us to talk about on the next episode.
It doesn't have to be relevant content about the world around us. It could be about anything at all.
Yeah, just ask us questions. We'll answer them. Let us know in the comments below or tweet us at 2nerds or no, 2nerds316.
Yes.
At Dynamite Jared, at Buddy Candela.
Yep.
So, I mean, just let us know. And until next time, guys, we have been 2 Nerds. This has been a podcast. And this is Dynamite Jared signing off.
And this is Buddy the Bruiser signing out. We will see you next week.